calma. Para não. Pronto, agora. Hey guys, how you doing? Hello, how are you doing, sweethearts? Happy Halloween! It's Halloween today. It's tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, actually. How are you doing? Let me wear my glasses here because I just can't wear. You scared me. Sorry, Adriana. Oh, that's my mask. Did you like it? It's so real, right? Halloween! Let me see who's here and let me just say hi from the beginning. So we have here Fátima, Felipe. Anna, my dear, how are you doing? Felipe, oh, I'm good that Anna helped Felipe. That's good. Sileni. Hi, Sileni. Who else is here? Constantino. Oh, it's so good. I was to say good with glad. So I'm so glad and it's so good to have you back. Felipe, Adriana, what else? Adriana, eu te respondi já, meu amor, já tem uns dias, eu te respondi na quinta-feira. Se você for olhar lá no último aula do VIP, eu te respondi já, faz tempinho. Lembra que eu falei que ia responder até o dia seguinte? Tá respondido. Eu não sei se é disso que você tá falando, mas se foi a minha pergunta que você me mandou, a pergunta que você me mandou, eu te respondi até o dia seguinte, como eu prometi. Au! Lucas, aqui está a mensagem esperando. Yes, we're here, we've already started. Sorry, guys, the monster got me. It's Halloween, very, you scared me, Luiz, Adriana. Eu vi, obrigada. Good. So, guys, today we're going to have a different class. We're going to talk about Halloween, and I decided to prepare that and just bring you guys. And actually, I want you to talk to you more than just Halloween, or if it's just USA, because you are going to see that it's not. Because, guys, I don't know, maybe some of you might think, oh, why am I going to learn this? Like, I'm not going to the US, or I don't care, I don't like Halloween. But either you like it or not, Halloween is something that everyone talks about in this time of the year. I mean, native speakers in a general way, not only people in the US, but in Europe and other countries as well, because this is something cultural. And, guys, there are some things, just sharing something that I think, just something that I bring to my life is that I think we are meant to speak and communicate and also learn about different things, especially when we're learning a second language, which is English in this case, because whenever we just meet a person, like an American, a British person, I don't know, and sometimes you end up talking about that thing, like Halloween, for instance. And if you know something, it's going to be super interesting because I think you're going to have much more to talk and different things. So in case, even if you don't like Halloween or things like that, it's okay. I just want you to share the knowledge, just share information. And yes, we're going to have some interesting vocabulary for you to know, like, I mean, daily vocabulary that I think it's going to be interesting for you. Hey, Leonardo, how you doing, my dear? All right, so that's what our topic today going to be about. And as soon as we start talking about the pumpkin, I'm going to get mine because I want to show you something. While I start my class, I'd like to know what you think about Halloween. If you, like, just guys, try to interact a little bit more today about Halloween. So while I am teaching you or sharing some information, I want to know if that thing was something new to you or not, if it was the first time you were hearing about it. I try just to bring different things, and not only like vocabulary and all these things, but I mean history and legend and you know, things that are super interesting. And I have a story. Whenever I show you my pumpkin, I have a story, super interesting story to share with you guys. Like, why is it so important to learn about different cultures, right? We get smarter, that's the thing, and you know, smart is the new sexy. So let's get it started, guys. I'm gonna share my screen right now. Let me know if you, hey Paula, good to see you again as well. Thank you so much for showing up. So guys, I'm gonna share my screen right now, and Hey Walter, how are you doing? Let me tell you something. In case you want to know more about Halloween, I've just started a new web series on YouTube called Erika in America Halloween. So yesterday I posted my first video, which is a little bit what I'm going to share with you about, but in Portuguese here is better because in English it's in English. And well, along this web series, I'm going to share some different videos of the culture here in the USA. So if you have the chance, if you want to see it, oops, yeah, turn my screen on. Just go there and watch it because it's going to be super interesting. Guys, I've just shared my screen right now. So today is our lesson number 26. And we're going to talk about Halloween. Guys, again, if this is your first time watching my class, don't forget to watch the previous ones that we had about grammar and vocab as well. You guys know that every week I just switch the topics. Like I like taking turns between grammar and add lots of different and, you know, extra information to you guys, right? So I want to know whenever I start sharing with you guys, I want to know what is new to you and what it's not. I'm going to start talking about where did Halloween start, guys? Do you have any idea? Okay, now you can see, so you know the answer. Lots of people think it started here in the USA because it's so famous because of the trick or treat and all these things. But the thing is, to be really honest, it was not even in Ireland. I just wrote Ireland so you can, you know, just get an idea about it. But actually, this was like more than 6,000 years before Christ. So it's like a long time ago, thousands of years ago. And the region where Ireland is nowadays, that region, there used to have some people called Celtics, and these people used to have an event. I wrote here, guys, Sam High. I think you can see it through my slide, but the pronunciation is so in. That's what like they used to say. The pronunciation is so in. They used to call this, let's say, event that used to be celebrated on October 31st. But I'm going to explain everything. The thing is, a long time ago, like nowadays we have the science to help us explain and prove lots of things, but like, I don't know, thousands and thousands of years ago, like we didn't have that. So Celtics used to explain lots of things that were happening that like were just going on, especially on the harvest situation. Like just, you know, telling it was a spirit's fault and it was just magic. This was one way that they used to have to, you know, explain some of the, you know, reasons and things that were happening back then. Well, one thing that is interesting and nice for you to keep in mind. Let me see if it's in a second. Yeah, it's in a second slide, but not all the details. So I really want you to pay attention because, guys, I was not going to type everything, and otherwise would be like just a text. So pay attention to me. I know that. And me, sorry, there are lots of things here that you will be able to see then, but most of the information that we have, I'm going to speak. So, guys, that time that we were talking, you know, back then, New Year's started on November 1st. So for us now, it's January 1st. But to the Celtics, like thousands of years ago, it was on November 1st. And that thing is super curious because for them, having November 1st as being the first day, if you start thinking like in Brazil now, the temperature and the season and everything else is kind of warm and so on. But now here in the North Hemisphere, the weather starts getting colder and colder. And it's interesting because here where I live in Iowa, there's lots of cornfields and soybean fields. And I used to see that. I've been seeing that for the past months, like, you know, all these things growing. But if I just go outside, I just can't see it anymore because they have already harvested everything. Because that's the time of the year that here, mainly in the, actually most of the North Hemisphere, they have just harvested everything, or they're just finishing harvesting everything because of the weather. You know, the place where it's just too cold, you just can, you know, plant anything because it's not going to grow, or actually is going to damage what you already have. So that's why you have to harvest before it gets even colder. Okay. The thing is, this time of the year, as I was telling you about New Year's, it is a time that the Celts used to. I was saying Celtics, guys. It's Celts, not Celtics. I think I've been watching too much football. I think it's football, right? Or baseball. Baseball. There's a team called Celtics. It's Celts. I'm sorry. So the Celts, they used to think that for them, being November 1st, the first day, it's like a passage. Like before that, we have the summer and we could harvest everything. And after that, they used to think like, okay, so now we're going to start having darkness, because remember that I told you like at 4 p.m. it starts getting so dark. And depending on the country in Europe, it's getting even darker. So it's like just terrible. Hello, Antonio. How are you? So it's getting even darker. So this time of the year for them, it meant darkness, winter, cold, and death, because lots of people used to die in this time of the year, because, you know, they didn't have all the structure and technology and, you know, all those things to support the cold weather. So lots of people used to die. And in this event, that I told you before, in this event, Celts used to think that people, on this day specifically, okay, that people could come to Earth, like to visit or maybe to just wander off. But they used to think that this is story super interesting. And when you get to know it, you start understanding why, like, people wear costumes and all these things. So pay attention. So they used to think that on October 31st, you know, one day before New Year's, so New Year's Eve, right? They used to think that dead people would come back and just, you know, stay among us, like living people, live people, and just wander off. So one curiosity, I don't know if I added that to my slide. I guess so, yes, I guess it was this reason here. Guys, just one thing, today is not going to be the day that I'll necessarily follow all the slides, like step by step, because it's just a story and I added some things here just to, you know, so I couldn't just lose myself in the explanation. But it's not like every class we have. So it's like 1, 2, and grammar, and, you know, it's just more like stories. So I don't know if I wrote here, but I guess so. Like, yeah, I think it wasn't here. So the thing is, one night before, actually, so these dead people used to be among living ones. And of course, not only to like, oh, I'm here with you, I missed you so much. No, they used to come to kind of scare and also, you know, play some tricks and all those things. So some things that Celts used to do on this day, which is they used to dress up with costumes like here, as you can see in the picture, with holes like, oh, I'm a ghost, or skeletons and all those things. Like, this is a legend that they used to say, but like, they used kind of to, their wish is to make the dead ones, the spirits, confused if that one that is dressed was like one of them, I mean, dead ones, or not. So since they were confused about it, you know, spirits wouldn't trick them. So that's how the costumes, you know, guys, there's one thing here talking about costumes here. Why costumes? So be careful, because you don't say fantasy. We don't wear fantasies. Like, this thing here is a costume. It's not a fantasy. You know, fantasy, one thing, it's just basically something that you're just imagining. It's not something that really exists. It's something that happens on your mind. So here, this horse, for instance, with his wings and all these things, right? You can use the word or the verb fantasy for like, I don't know, sexual context, for instance. So depending on, and it's not only for that. So fantasy might also like being a fantasy movie. You can have different contexts. It really depends on what you're saying and everything. So be careful. A costume is what you're going to wear to pretend to be someone else. Okay, so it's not only on Halloween. You can wear a costume, a Santa Claus costume on Christmas, for instance. So you might have other costumes in other days of the year. Okay, so not only on Halloween. And the verb you should use when you're gonna wear a costume is to dress up. So if I say, Antonio, what are you gonna dress up for Halloween? Not what are you gonna wear, what are you gonna dress? It's a specific verb, like, what are you going to wear for this day? So I'm going to dress up. Costume, Adriana, costume. Yeah, because we think like Portuguese, costume. So costume. Yeah. And fantasy, okay? Costume, fantasy. So I was explaining to you about people, I mean living ones that used to dress up just to make, like, say, a small confusion to the dead ones, so they wouldn't play a trick on them, right? There's something interesting about this day as well. Like, lots of years after that, after all these things started, guys, I really don't have the exact date. If you really want, you can write on the VIP and I can go for that. Or you can just Google, because I'm terrible with dates specifically, especially because I really like the information itself and the story or the legend, but I'm not really into the year specifically. But I know that some years after that, the Catholic Church implemented November 2nd as being the Day of the Dead. Like in Brazil on Friday, I believe it's going to be, it is holiday in Brazil on November 2nd, which is the Day of the Dead. I'm pretty sure, like, it's a holiday here, but people work. Like, my husband is going to work. He's going to work this day normally. He's not going, it's not like a day off or anything like that. So I know in Brazil it is, but not in here. So on Friday, like November 2nd, it is the official Day of the Dead. On November, wait, I have this written down somewhere because I wanted to follow with me here. Yeah, here. So November 2nd is the Day of the Dead. November 1st is All Saints Day, right? So it's another celebration of the Catholic Church, which is the All Saints Day, November 1st. And guys, one curiosity now about the word Halloween. Why do we call this event Halloween? Well, Halloween comes from the word Hallow Eve. Okay, hollow, the word hollow, it is the same as spirit. So Halloween is in their South words or pronunciation or whatever, it means Eve. Okay, this termination in is like Eve in their language, whatever. So what is the meaning of Eve? Eve, guys, is the previous day before that event, right? So every time you have like Christmas, right? Christmas is on December 25th. Christmas Eve is the day before, actually the night before, because it's evening, not a day. The night before, it comes from evening. So Christmas Eve is the night before Christmas. New Year's Eve is the night before New Year's, right? So the word Eve is also like, we also see this word on Halloween, because Halloween is like Hallows Eve. So it's the previous night of the day of All Saints Day. So that is the origin of the word. And that's why, guys, that's one of the reasons why October 31st as well. See, all these things, like, we started thinking, why not January? Why not March? Why not September? You know, all of these things happened because of the weather, because lots of people used to die and they didn't have like a real explanation for that. So they used to, you know, blame saints and spirits and all those things. Sometimes they could even have problems with their harvesting, and they used to say, no, spirits just did it, you know. And now talking a little bit about trick or treat. Before that, let me see what we have. Oh, here. To confuse demons or wandering spirits would mistake them for one of their own and leave them alone. So some of the things I'm leaving you here with this, all these PDF files, because I really want you to keep these things and study. Maybe one of your friends or even kids want to know a little bit more about it, and you just can tell them like the whole story and how it worked and everything else. Guys, another curiosity before I talk about trick or treat is about the bonfire. Bonfire, you can't see my picture yet, but you're gonna see my slide in a couple minutes. A bonfire is what you see on the picture. The thing is, this is another very, very common thing that we have here in the US in this time of the year, like having a bonfire on Halloween or even the nights before / after Halloween. First thing, okay, nowadays I'm talking about it. It's more because like it's a tradition, and also because the weather is getting very, very cold. Where's my cell phone? Like, I know that this week is gonna be like -1 or -2, but like, oh, it's kind of warm right now. Actually, it's 14. Yeah, it's 14 right now, but like next week is gonna be like -1, -3. So you kind of light a bonfire, so you keep yourself warm, so you can just, you know, have some marshmallows and all this thing. So just people brought this, but there's a story about the bonfire. Back then, Celts used to basically light up some bonfires, you know, so the druids and the priests and everything else, they could just reunite people, get together, so the priests could tell them like why were those things happening, or things about spirits and things like from the event of the Halloween. So bonfire started back then, again, to warn people, but actually to explain all these things, because after some months like November, December, January, you know, people would face a very, very harsh winter, so they could, like, you know, have some hopes for the future. So that's like we're like priests about doing bonfires. So that's something pretty interesting about bonfires and just bringing people together. Oh, I also added this tradition about adding some treats on the doorsteps, but I'll explain that with the trick or treat story. So yeah, this is it for now. Let me just move on here. Okay, so now let's talk about trick or treat. Guys, this is something super interesting because there's a story of trick or treat. Why trick or treat? And it's all associated to Halloween. I mean, back to like Celt story and all those things that were happening thousands of years ago. And things that they just tells us and we believe is that people in general, this day of like that event, the Celts would believe that the dead would come down to earth, remember? People in general used to leave some treats on the door, like some special gifts. And in other words, would be like treats, because treats are not necessarily candies. Okay, you might have like something, a special gift or something, and call it, oh, that's just a treat. Usually it is, but you know, you might have other cases as well. Well, so they used to leave some treats on their door with closed doors, of course, because what they had in mind is like, okay, I'm giving you a treat, so leave me alone. You can grab as much as you wish and grab me and leave me alone. It was a way like, I don't want you to have problems with me. I don't want to have problems with you. So here are some treats. So spirits would come, take the treats, and just go away. But some people wouldn't leave the treats on the door. So, you know, spirits got mad, used to get mad, and then played a trick or a prank on the person or on the family, whatever. So that's the origin. And if you start thinking and associating trick or treat nowadays, kids, when they go trick or treating on houses in general, they don't go like kids. They don't dress up normally. They just wear different costumes like these things, and they just go door to door, like dressing like, I don't know, Frankenstein or witches, wizards, or vampires, because they are kind of mimicking those spirits. I don't know if they even know about it, because that's a tradition, and tradition is something that pass on. I just teach my daughter is going to teach her daughter, and so on. So sometimes this is just something that we don't know why, and that's something interesting that I really wanted to share with you guys. I wanted to bring you today, because sometimes we just see things happening, and we do, but we don't know why. So now you know why kids are just dressing up like that, because they're mimicking, they're imitating ghosts that used to go from door to door just grabbing the treat. So I think this is so awesome. And trick or treat here in North Liberty, because this may vary from city to city, is going to be on Wednesday. I think it's from 5 to 8. And just out of curiosity, because I didn't write it down, this is like something, let's say, personal from this context, of course, but from the city. They just share a message like, we care about our children. So that's why for kids, trick or treat starts earlier. So it's not something like kids go door to door at midnight. No, it's not going to happen. And mayor, or actually the city hall, says, if you want to give treats to the kids in general, you got to light up your front door light. So I just had to turn on the light of my front door. So on this day, kids will understand that I have candies for them, and then they can come to my house. So yes, they come dressed up and they say trick or treat. Some of them are just so young, they don't say anything, so they're just waiting for you to give them the candies. I remember last year I was like, aren't you gonna say trick or treat? And they like, trick or treat. But this year I'm preparing something super special, because there's a house, just hear that, this is so interesting. There's a house near here, huge house, all decorated with Halloween stuff. I'm gonna talk about it. And the owner of the house was just telling me that last year they had 400 kids over their house. So around 400 kids went to this woman's house to just go and trick or treat, just ask for candies, because her house is so well decorated, so ginormous. I'll have that on my web series, by the way. That like 400 kids, and all the neighbors like help her with the candies and everything else, because 400. Like, she said that kids even from other cities just go there, because it's just so. And she loves Halloween. By the way, talking about it. Why do Americans, this is something that now I want to share with you all. Now, here, jack-o'-lantern. Why do Americans, if this is a tradition from Ireland, from actually the region of Ireland, and now actually, which is Ireland now, why do Americans celebrate it? Like, what does USA have to do with Halloween? Especially because in the USA, it's where Halloween is celebrated the most. Like, I have some friends in Europe, and they were just telling me, like, I don't know, people just don't celebrate like in the US. Well, long story short, but before I go, let me get my pumpkin. I really want you to see that. I think you're gonna like it. Just a second, guys. Just count to 5. Don't leave me. Crazy girl running on the house. Wait, I'm back. Don't leave me. I'm back. Guys, I don't have a name for it, but that's my pumpkin. I don't think you can see me. Yeah. Let me see if you can see on the video. That's my pumpkin. I carved it, let me think, 3 days ago, 3 nights ago, and you won't believe the story. Like, that's just a pumpkin, like any other one. And I was just filming one house for my web series, and I just found some people carving pumpkins. And I'm very curious, and I just started asking them, like, what are you doing? Like, are you just carving? Is this an event? Do I have to pay? Because I've never carved a pumpkin before. Guys, that's the verb we use. We carve. because you see there's a face here. So we get a knife. This is like some special knives and spoons, but you basically cut. This is very easy to do, actually, to make. The thing is, the girl said, oh, you've never carved a pumpkin before, so grab one and let's do it. And like, guys, I've never seen that woman before in my whole life. I was just there to film one house because it was decorated for Halloween. And it was so interesting because she was like, no, come on over, just join us. Like, she didn't know me. Like, that's so amazing. And I started sharing the history of Halloween, that it was like, when it happened, why the name Halloween, and they were like, I love Halloween, but I didn't know any of this. I thought it was just like the tradition, and she even thought it was everything started in the US and not like where it's Ireland nowadays. So you can see there's a candle. Let me get it. It's heavy. It's not like a candle because usually, see, it's like a fake candle, but it lights up a lot. So usually what they do is just add this. So especially because, you know, houses here are made of wood and everything. So, you know, you don't have any problem happening in here. So guys, one thing that it's interesting about the pumpkin, some people just ask me, why pumpkin? Why does the pumpkin have to do with Halloween? Like, what's the origin? So that's what I want to share with you guys. The thing is, before I explain, I'll tell you guys a story, which is this guy's story. It's called Jack-o'-lantern. That's a legend, of course. It's not real, I guess. I hope. Just kidding. So the story is that there was a guy, like thousands of years ago again, named Jack, right? And Jack was actually a very mean guy. He was not a very good guy. He didn't help people. He was very mean. He was always playing tricks and saying bad things about God and also about the devil. You know, and he used to drink a lot. You know, he was not a very good man. Actually, he was not a good man at all. So that was Jack. And one day, Jack died. And when Jack died, guys, he tried to go to heaven, and he started talking to God, like, God, please let me stay. And God said, no. Poor God. God is just about love, right? But God, in the story, said, no. You were a very mean guy. You've never helped anyone. So you're not coming to heaven. Just live here. That was God. And then Jack tried hell. So he went to talk to the devil and said, hey, let me stay, especially because now God didn't want me there. And the devil said, no, you played tricked on me. You just said bad things about me. You're not staying here. So Jack, when he died, couldn't go to hell or heaven. He had nowhere to go. That's the thing. So he was on the earth just, just wandering off because he had nowhere to go. He had to wait for the judgment day, like to see where he would go. So he was just wandering off and on the darkness, because technically when you die, it's all dark until you see the light and everything else. So the thing is, he was in the darkness. And, just tells the story, the legend, that God pitied him, just said, oh, poor Jack. And because he was in the dark, and gave him a lantern. Some people say a lantern, some people say a torch. So it doesn't matter. Just because he was in the darkness, so the devil gave him the torch, the lantern. So as you can see here on the second picture, he was just, wandering off, just going from place to place and just scaring people and holding this lantern or torch or whatever you prefer. So the thing is, that's a legend. And what Irish people used to use like thousands of years ago was turnip. Let me write it down because I don't think I added the word turnip here. Guys, turnip, I know you're curious to know about it. It's a vegetable, and I've never eaten, I guess. Guys, nabo. You know nabo? Legume, nabo, turnip. Right. Turnip. Gente, depois se vocês não sabem o que é nabo, que é legume, depois eu jogo no Google, tá? But they use turnip in English, Turnip in Portuguese, nabo. Okay, it's a vegetable. So they used turnip to carve, like, that's a pumpkin. So Irish people, like thousands of years ago, used to use the turnip to do it. But the thing is, the turnip is smaller, you know, so it was harder to carve. But it was just what they had, so they had to use what they had, right? Like here in the US, there's no mandioquinha, so I have to try other vegetables. So you gotta use what you have. So they had turnip, and legend says that, not legend actually, history says that Irish people used to use the turnip to carve and just put some candles inside to light jack-o'-lantern's head, right? Now the thing is, now what does the pumpkin have to do with that? And so the US, answering this question. When Irish immigrants came to the USA, they of course wanted to keep their traditions. They wanted to keep celebrating Halloween and all those things. And when they saw the pumpkin, this thing here, they thought, oh, this thing is bigger. Oh my God, look at this head. It's bigger and easier to carve because, guys, the pumpkin, when you're carving it, you just have the seeds, the middle, you just have the seeds. So it's pretty fast and it's pretty simple to carve this pumpkin, actually, to carve the pumpkin, you know? Like, I remember reading and studying about it that Irish people used to use like potatoes or carrots to carve, but it's hard because potatoes, I guess turnip as well. Like you have lots of things inside, so you just can just carve it. It's harder. So Irish people thought, I liked pumpkin. It's easier, it's bigger, and you just put the light inside, so we're gonna use it. So that's why the pumpkin is the symbol of Halloween, you know, like because of the story of jack-o'-lantern, which is the symbol of Halloween. It has all to do with spirits and you know, all those darkness and all these things. So that's the story. That's why it's called it's associated to Halloween, this time of the year. And guys, this pumpkin here, we don't eat this one because we usually leave outside and everything else. And you know, it's, look at that. It's like, I don't know if it's just dirt or it's getting bad. So this is just for decoration. And unfortunately, you have to throw away. That's why I just have only one. Because, you know, throw away food is not something that I personally like. But they usually do this a lot here. Well, guys, some other things that it has like lots to do with Halloween. When we're talking about witches and black cats and vampires, some people just ask, maybe you also have this question like, why all these characters, all these things, like why ghosts? Why everything that is associated to darkness, to spirits, to death, all of these things they're going to bring to Halloween. So the thing is, guys, if in like, I don't know, 10 years, Disney just comes up with a new character of the devil or something, you can bet that Halloween will bring that. And also, you know, people will wear costumes of that. And because all of those things are associated to Halloween. And guys, of course that you can wear cute costumes. So you can wear whatever costume you wish. Okay, I'm just talking about the costumes that are associated to characters about Halloween. Okay, so that's why, for example, black cats. Why black cats? Because in the past they used to think like witches you associate to magic, you associate to spirits, and all. Again, you see, everything is so associated to that. So they used to think that witches could turn into cats whenever they wish to do it. And there's another thing. When witches died, I think, yeah, I don't know if they died, but when witches died, kind of, they could be born again. They could like live again, but in a cat's body. That's super interesting. Like they used to think about all these things. So that's why the black cat reincarnate. That's the word. They could reincarnate on cats, on black cats. So that's why black cats, you know? I hate Halloween. I don't like the idea of having ghosts around me. Yeah, actually nowadays, Fatima, I don't, to be really honest, I don't believe in all these things. So for me, it's just like, I mean, these bad things and Halloween and nowadays it's just for fun, you know. Nobody, at least here in Iowa, I don't know in other cities, states, countries, whatever, they don't take it like, oh, that's something of the devil, or it's just actually for fun. And people here around here, Fatima and everyone, they just use it to make something happy, to have fun. Like, of course that this thing here, this mask is like super scary, but people just do it for fun. So they just wear it for a couple seconds and they just take it off and everything else. I understand. You live or you used to live in Minneapolis? Yeah, they do parade for fun. That's so great. I've never been to a Halloween parade. I think yeah, I think this is fun. I've never been to a Halloween parade. But yeah, like nowadays, what I understand is like they have it like more for fun. So when they decorate their houses, because guys, I've been reading a lot about Halloween. Halloween is actually the second it is the second date where they spend more money on stuff for the house, to decorate and all these things. It's super interesting. Only Christmas is ahead of Halloween. So Christmas is the date when they just buy everything, but Halloween comes after that. Not even like, I don't know what we have. We have now in November, Thanksgiving or Valentine's Day. No. Halloween is the second day, and it's interesting everywhere you go. I have another episode on my web series about Halloween on YouTube that is going to be about the stores. They have specific stores only about Halloween. They have animatronics of, you know, what's his name? Oh, guys, by the way, I'm super afraid of Halloween. I don't know how I could film everything because they have haunted houses. They are so creative. They have so many different events in here. Like they just basically build some houses or rent or, you know, use some old houses. They just hire some actors, really good actors, like dressed up with all these things here. And like people just pay $10 to get to get scared. That's the thing, you know. So like for like 5 minutes, they just pay and they have lots of fun. It's super interesting how creative they are about all these things. Halloween is sort of like Carnival in Brazil. No, not at all. I don't know about your question, but you mean the tradition? Actually, Ronaldo, ask me your question again. I don't know if I understood correctly, and I don't want to misunderstand. So what do you mean, like, if it's just like Carnival in Brazil? And guys, by the way, why do I explain other things? Just, in importance? Ronaldo, the thing is, I don't like Carnival, and but okay. So I tried to see Carnival. Guys, that's just my opinion, and I'm sorry if you love it. So it's just my opinion. But I don't see it with good eyes, so I just tended to negative, like Halloween for many people. But I guess so. But like the thing, Ronaldo, people don't decorate their houses on Carnival. You know? I think people dress up a lot in Carnival, like especially kids. So... But I wouldn't say it's the same level of importance. Yeah, Fatima said I don't think so too. I like the graveyards decoration. Yeah, it's super awesome, especially with their names. They are so creative. But Ronaldo, I don't think it's just like, your question is super interesting because in Carnival we dress up as well. But I don't know if it's my point of view about Carnival is too distorted. But I have Carnival for me, I'm sorry, guys, if I'm just saying bad things about it, but it's just about, I don't want to say it's just about sex, but, you know, mainly in my view. And I might have, I believe I might have a very different view about it, probably because of the environment where I grew and all these things. So maybe that's another reason. Yeah, different feelings, I think. Yeah, that's it. It's different, Ronaldo. It's just more like, and they don't have all this feeling like spirits and like, you know, it's just like, I hate Carnival, but Halloween looks very cool. It's fun. It's very, very fun. And people here have fun. Kids have fun. Usually, what I'm feeling here now is that families who have kids tend to decorate more their houses. Or even the ones who decorate and are older, it's because they love this tradition and they have great memories from the time they were kids. So there are lots of events along the month just for kids along Halloween, like helping them to carve pumpkins. It's super interesting the way they deal with this day. So it's not just October 31st. You know, Halloween is the whole month. They start decorating 1 month before the date. So beginning of October, they start decorating for Halloween. Guys, I'd like to share now, so witches and black cats, everything that I just told you. So guys, some common characters that I would like you to know. So new words for you. I would like you to repeat after me so you can get pronunciation and all these things, okay? So guys, repeat after me. Bats. Mummies. Yeah, be careful. Mummy. The same pronunciation for mom, your mom, but with O in the US, with U in British English. Repeat, devil. So it's not devil, it's devil, devil, okay? Witches, if it's more than one, otherwise it's just witch. Zombies. Vampires. Let's wait it. Change. Oh, the next one, guys, I'm so afraid of them. Oh my God. Like not only on Halloween, but you know, even the good ones. Clowns. Guys, repeat. Clowns. Scarecrow. Scarecrow. Actually, plural scarecrows. If it's more than one. Only one scarecrow. Skeletons. Grim Reaper. Jack Skellington. Jack Skellington is a character from Tim Burton, if I'm not wrong. I super love Tim Burton. He was super awesome. Michael Myers. Oh, that's the one that I was trying to remember that time about the animatronics. There are some animatronics here in these specific stores of Michael Myers, like he's holding a knife and trying to kill, but it's just like a toy. And some scarecrows as well. They have lots of scarecrows in animatronics, I mean. Next picture, next slide, ghosts. And one more, jack-o'-lantern. You're not seeing my screen, now you are. So ghosts and jack-o'-lantern. Okay, guys, so one thing that I like to show you that it's super interesting are the pumpkin patches. Well, now you know that it's very common here in the US about the pumpkin and everything else because the climate, the soil, all these things are pretty good for pumpkin plantation. That's me in the picture, by the way. My husband took it when we went to the pumpkin patch. Here in Iowa, there are lots of pumpkin patches. Guys, patches are plantations, okay? So pumpkin patches are plantations, are places where people grow pumpkins. But like, it's ginormous. In the place where I've been, like this place here, they had 10 acres. 10 acres. I think it's 50,000 meters. Let me see. 10 acres in oh my God. 10 acres in square feet. No. Square meters. Okay. Jesus, this number is huge. But I think it's around 50, guys. I think it's like 50,000. Guys, 10 acres. Google it. I hate math. I hate numbers. But 10 acres. Guys, acres. Let me write down so you can Google it. I'm getting used to the units of measure here. So I just think of like 10 acres. I think if I'm not wrong, it's like 50 square meters. It's something like, if you know the answer, just Google, just type here. But guys, 10 acres, it's a lot. It's just basically it's a lot of pumpkin. So this is just a plantation, as you can see here, where they grow the pumpkin. Oh, great! Just thank you so much. You're enjoying the class. Thank you. This is different, actually. So I was really expecting you could enjoy that because it's different. It's not like regular vocabulary, but it's something you're gonna hear a lot when you're talking to a native about this time of the year, when you're watching the news, when you are, I don't know, guys, there are so many different places where you can hear that. So this is the time of the year that you find lots of pumpkins. And oh, that's something interesting. Let me ask my husband to bring the thing. Actually, everything they just made from pumpkins here. Pumpkins and squashes. This is something, I don't know if you know the difference. I should have added here a picture. But guys, write it down and Google it as well. As coisas que eu falo para vocês jogarem no Google, joguem, porque isso ajuda a gente a aprender mais coisas. Pumpkins and squashes. Guys, squashes are types of pumpkins, are different types of pumpkins, you know? Sabe aquela abóbora que a gente tem no Brasil, acho que é a cabotiá, se não me engano, uma verde? Assim, bem dura, com a casca bem dura. That's not a pumpkin. That's a pumpkin. This thing here is a pumpkin. This orange thing here is a pumpkin. That green one, I've never seen here in Iowa, a squash. Eu nunca vi aqui em Iowa, gente, aquela abóbora cabotiá que a gente tem no Brasil, que é grande. Eu nunca vi ela grande. Eu já vi ela, mesmo sabor, mesmo tudo. É pequenininha, chama acorn squash. Acorn squash. It's the same, but smaller. It's not like this size like in Brazil. It's like this size. And it's super interesting because they have different types of squashes. So, for example, here you see everything about butternut squash. Google it as well. Butternut squash is like orange squash. So the color, this one is orange as well. But the format is different and the size as well. It's a little different. And but it's amazing. It's super, super delicious, the butternut squash. So guys, these are different, okay? So about vegetables, I don't think I've brought vegetables vocabulary to you before, but I can do it if you wish. So this is super interesting, super great. So this time of the year and about the fall as well, this is another curiosity because there's lots of pumpkins and also squashes. They usually offer industrialized products and also homemade products when you go to restaurants and everything else. So it's all about pumpkins. It's all about squashes. So you have coffee flavored pumpkin. You have pasta in general, so you have ravioli, you have, I don't know, guys, different types of food as well, but made of butternut squash, acorn squash, or just pumpkins. So they kind of use this to make pumpkins, to make pumpkin flavors, or even, for example, candles. You have lots of candles at this time of the year that you have the smell of pumpkins. So they call it like fall smell. So it's really, really crazy. Adriana is saying pumpkin spice bread. See, Adriana lives here. She's telling me, telling us some different things as well. So they have everything about pumpkin. If you do eat a lot of pumpkin, if you like, so you're going to like this time of the year when you come to the US, of course you have other options, but usually they have a different menu. With fall options, and in this fall options they have lots of things with squashes and also pumpkins. It's super interesting, guys. You have no idea. Well, I added some Halloween facts here. One of them, actually two of them, I've already mentioned before, which is about being one of the days that is just most celebrated here in the USA, you know. And see here, Americans spend almost $10 billion per year on Halloween. This is crazy. Billions. $10 billion. Like, I just can't believe that. And something else that I added here, oh, it's about the time that I told you it was like 4,000 years ago, 6 years ago. So this is something that they just celebrate for a very long time. Beer too. Yes, Marcio, that's true. They have beer where you have like flavor, sometimes just the smell of like pumpkins. This is crazy. There's pumpkin cheesecake on Cheese Factory. Yeah. Guys, everything. This is so crazy. I added here a curiosity about the colors of Halloween, with orange, black, and brown and gold. So this is just basically symbols. Like orange is a symbol of strength, black is the symbol of death, brown and gold of because of the harvest. So they kind of brought these colors and all these things. You know, there's like a reason. And one last curiosity about Halloween, guys, about carving. Look at that. Look at those carvings. The fastest carver just did it in like 16 seconds. These guys are so professional. Like, I took maybe 15 minutes to carve mine. And it's so simple. So, I don't know, childish. But it's okay. It was my first one. I'm going to improve that, I swear. And guys, I also added, because this homework, we're not going to have like homework to repeat the sentences and everything else. But the homework this time is going to be some texts that I want you to learn from. So I added 3 extra text here that I would love you to read and grab information from. This is super interesting. The last one, if you like Halloween, if you like horror movies, the last link is about Halloween movies. Guys, I don't like horror movies. I don't watch horror movies. So this is something that I just can't talk about because I don't know a lot. So people just know. Now there is a new Halloween on the movies, if I'm not wrong. But, you know, I don't like clowns. I don't like all these things. I'm super scared. I'm scared of the darkness. I'm 34 years old and I'm scared of the darkness. So I don't do it. And all my web series I just did because I wanted to share you know, different information and curiosities from the Halloween, which is super, super great. But guys, Halloween is just not being scared and scaring people. It's not only about ghosts and monsters. You have history about it. You have fun. You have lots of things that it can be added to this very, very nice day. I know that some places like Disney decorates very well. In a different way. So it's another special time of the year for them as well. There are different places here that do it as well. So guys, that was it for today. It was a very different class. Please let me know in the VIP or even here in the comments on Facebook. I'm getting crazy. On YouTube. Because in November, we have Thanksgiving. Would you be interested in a Thanksgiving class or not? Guys, I don't want you to say yes. I want you to tell me what it's interesting or if it's interesting or not. Because if it is, I'm going to bring like different things about why they do it, how they do it, why do they celebrate it, because Thanksgiving is one of the most celebrated and respected events they have in the year. The following day is Black Friday. I can add that to the class as well. So let me know if you want a Thanksgiving vocab class, like turkey and all these things, because I can definitely bring that. If not, I'm gonna bring like our regular topics, like, I don't know, English survival and other things, and grammar stuff as well. So guys, if you don't want, no hard feelings, I'm here for you. I'm here to bring different things. Now that I brought about Halloween, you can understand a little bit of my class when it comes to holidays. So if you're interested in different holidays, I really need you to tell me, okay? So let me get back here because I want to see you. Guys, are you here with me? Yes. So guys, I really hope you have enjoyed today's class. Don't forget to like this class here on YouTube because this is something that keeps me so motivated. I understand that you were enjoying this type of class, so I can bring you much more about it. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'm going to upload the replay and also the material from this class. And I really hope you have enjoyed it. So that's it, guys. Take care of yourselves. Guys, from next class on, we get back to, we're going back to our classes on Tuesday, same time. Okay? Guys, have a good night. Take care of yourselves and happy Halloween. Bye-bye, guys.